Everyone, in today's video let's have a quick look at how Dent is making new highs and it will explode in 2021, and then we will touch base how Dent is differentiating from its competitors, and then we will have a look at what are the new features and roadmap items that are coming up in the next 3 to 6 month span, because that is very key in terms of whether making a decision to get into Dent or not. Because if the product roadmap doesn't looks promising or doesn't have any innovation, then it's not worth spending time. Then we will have a look at what is the vision of Dent Wireless and how they are in line with their original roadmap, which was launched in 2017. And then we will look at how the future looks for Dent Wireless as a telecom company. And let's have a look at what are the innovations that they are bringing to the table in comparison with the traditional telecom companies, because that is very key. Because at the moment Dent is a full-blown telecom company, and they are offering eSIM mobile data services in 80 different countries. So it's very key to understand what kind of innovations they are bringing to the table in comparison with the traditional telecom companies. And then we will have a look at how blockchain is assisting Dent Wireless with innovation, bringing innovation in the telecom industry. And then we will have a look at who are the competitors in the telecom space with blockchain focus. Then I want to talk about the reselling of unused mobile data, which is coming up in the next release of the Dent mobile app 4.0. So right now the version of the mobile app is 3 years old, and the next release is going to be a very big major release, and already they gave a sneak peek of how the UI and UX journey going to look, and how easy and user friendly it's going to be in the next version to come. So these are the key things that I want to highlight today. And if you look at this particular picture, this clearly shows the products that offer that, and they have been working on it for the past 3 years span. So the Dent mobile app was launched in 2018, January 2018, and since then they have been innovating and providing lots of new features. You can see here every item is a special feature within the app. So they have a Dent Exchange, and then eSIM data top up, and then they are coming up, which is another key thing. In the next 3 to 6 months, they are launching something called a developer portal, which is an API which allows you to provide and provision eSIM as a service for other businesses. It's pretty much like PayPal standing as a payment gateway between the businesses and the consumer. So consumer buys good from the merchant, and then the PayPal sits in the middle, and through that API the transaction happens. The same way pretty much Dent is launching a developer portal that's going to stand in between the consumer and the telecom and Dent consumer. So the businesses now can sell mobile data using their own branding, and Dent have their own payment channel as well, so that the merchants can easily transact and sell more data plans in their websites. So that's another key thing that's coming up as well. So you can see they have afterburner, and then they have a voice calling feature within their mobile app, and they have something called reward system. It's pretty much like staking of coins, so where you lock some amount of Dent in the app, and that will allow you to get free voice minutes. And then the next version, this is another key thing that I want to highlight, the next release of Dent app, they are going to come up with a new reward system, which is going to incentivize the users with additional eSIM data plans. So when I buy 1 gig of data plan, they will give you 200 MB, 20% more data, and they are going to reward with more tokens as well. So it's pretty much like Starbucks. If you go to Starbucks and they give you a stamping card, so you get stamped, and the 10th coffee is free, is on them. So the 10th coffee you don't have to pay. They pay you, they offer you a free coffee. So it's pretty much the same model. like Starbucks. So what they are doing is you buy Dent data with Dent tokens, then we give you offers. So that will promote the utility of the token itself. So right now you have an option of different payment system, so which I'm going to show right now. So they have a different payment channels. So if you look at here, they have different payment options going to come. So one of them is fiat currencies, and the other options are using to pay by the data plans with Dent tokens itself. So when a user buys with the Dent tokens, then they are going to be incentivized. That's the key thing that I want to say. So it's at a utility basically. A year ago, you need 30,000 Dent tokens to get 1 gigabyte of data. Right now, the price of the token and the utilization of demand has surged so high in the past 1 year that the price of 1 gig data is now you need 12,000 Dent tokens. So it has shrinked nearly 50%. So you can pay less now in terms of the amount of tokens you need to buy the data plan. So if the demand keeps growing, then the number of Dent tokens needed to buy data is also going to come down. So that means value is increasing. So when the value of the token increases, you may need only 10 Dent tokens to buy 1 gigabyte of data in the future. When every mobile user feels that the app is easy to get mobile data on the go, and then it's going to go up. So let's have a quick look at the number of token holders as well. So because this is another key metrics, I always have a look to understand how the market participants are feeling and the psychology of the market as well. So at the start of the year, there were 36,000 token holders. Right now we are seeing another surge of nearly 2,200 new token holders. That's a renewed interest in the community because of a lot of upcoming news and lots of new features that are coming up in the next 3 to 6 months around the roadmap. And we all know that the COVID-19 pandemic has affected not just Dent Wireless, it has affected lots of small businesses as well. But the good thing with Dent is instead of focusing on just the retail market, which is the consumer market, they shifted their focus to targeting to businesses as well. So they are launching their Dent API portal, which is this API portal, which is targeted towards B2B businesses. And then they have Dent Giga Store, which is a B2C wholesale business. So they realized last year that it's depending on just the retail mobile users, the business is not going to be highly profitable. So they shifted their target by producing 3 more different product suites. One is Dent Teams and Dent Giga Store and Dent API portal, which is a very smart move, I would say. As a big telecom company, I would probably copy the model of the existing successful telecom companies. So what they do is they offer different types of sales channels so that they don't depend on one particular revenue channel. So that's a very key thing. And the number of token holders has increased quite significantly right now, as you can see. And let's have a quick look at the charts as well. So if you look at the 1 hour chart for now, and if you zoom it a little bit, you can clearly see the bottom we hit was roughly around 22nd of January, which was around 00246, and that was when, since then it's consistently on the increase. And let's zoom it up for a 4 hour chart and get a better perspective as well. So as you can see, since 31st of December is when we had the bottom here, roughly around 1854. So that was the bottom it hit on 31st of December. So since then it's been on the rise, you can clearly see. So let's have a zoom it to a 1 day chart and get a better perspective. So the 1 day chart, in the 1 day chart, it looks the previous bottom was in March last year. So March last year was the worst one, which all the tokens just tanked a lot. So since then there have been pretty good resistance at some points. Like this one has been a strong resistance, like around 1919 000 1919. So there's too many zeros. So that resistance is no more, is broken many times, and that level is holding up very well. And then you have this particular top resistance 0333 that's been broken in the past 3 weeks. So if you go for the weekly chart as well, the weekly chart clearly shows some indicators there. So let's zoom it up. Yeah, the weekly chart, it's the huge price depreciation happened in 2019. You can clearly see it went to the lowest in 2019, and since then it's keeping up the price since 30th of August, September 2019. It's holding up its value pretty well, and so you can clearly see from here it's lots of green spikes coming up on the weekly chart. So it looks quite promising from the charting, because say even today the price of Dent is still 10% lower than the market price, the ICO price, sorry. So it's still lower than the ICO price, I would say. So you can imagine how much potential and chances are there for upside. This is not a financial advice, but I'm just making a logical analysis here to give you a perspective of where the market sentiment and market perception with regards to Dent. So right now it's still lower than the ICO price, where the ICO happened in June 2017. So but the chart, it looks quite promising. There's quite a lot of room for big surge, and particularly considering you have quite a lot of new things coming up in the next 3 to 6 months time span. So yeah, that's the thing I would like to highlight. And if you look at the Asian market, so I look at the Dent USD pair in the Asian market. So in the Asian market, in the Indian market, WazirX is another exchange which is traded in India. So here you can see the price of Dent in the Indian currency is 3 pence. 3 pence is like is the most cheapest you could get in the Indian market. So but the Indian market is quite huge, so we are seeing constant rise in the volume on WazirX exchange. So if a lot of Indians and Asians show interest on Dent token, we are going to see quite a lot of demand, because the Asian market is quite huge compared to the Western market. So I would keep an eye on the performance of Dent token in terms of volume in the WazirX exchange as well. In this exchange, all the Indians and the Asian guys can buy Dent tokens here. So here also you can see the chart is pretty promising. Yeah, and the volume is quite high, is spiking in the weekly chart. So that's another key level I would probably look. So here that's the level, and now it's looking quite promising. And particularly if you look at the next 3 to 6 months, there's quite a lot of roadmap items coming along. And let's have a quick look at price today. So the price today is around 0044. It's keeping up that level pretty nicely, and the volume is quite good as well, and we are seeing keeping good volume there, around 4 million a day. So that's a good indication as well, I would say. And generally the market is upside, so we are not seeing big downside happening at the moment in the short span of time. And another key interesting factor to observe is Dent is officially now listed as a worldwide eSIM service provider in Apple's website. So Dent Wireless has been working closely in partnership with Apple to release their eSIM service. So if you scroll down, you can see Dent Wireless is top in the list of officially supported worldwide eSIM service providers. So that is a very big thing from my opinion, because That's a key marketing standpoint to whoever who wants to buy a eSIM for their iPhones. So there are 750 eSIM iPhones have been sold since 2018. That's quite a big number of eSIM phones outside in the world. Right now we are not seeing the benefit of it because travel and tourism and hotel industry all have been affected significantly. So eSIM is something more likely be used by not the regional users but by the travelers and business users and other type of recreational and entertainment industry. So that those industries have been affected a lot. So once the COVID-19 goes away, we are going to see huge surge in travel and tourism and business coming out, and that's when you're going to see this page is going to give a clear perspective of how big Dent Wireless is. And another key thing that I want to highlight, as I told you, is how Dent is differentiating from its competitors. That is a very key thing I want to have a look before making a decision. So if you go to this website eSIMDB, and if you search for some of the providers in eSIM, you can see the most cheapest is $2.60 one, and Dent's one is $3.75. It's coming up as third in the list, third popular one. And the reason there is slightly price difference is due to the reason that it's valid for 1 year. It's not just valid for 10 days or 5 days. You have a longer validity, and there is a reason for it. I'm going to come to that in a moment. And let's have a look at other bigger tourism focused countries. Let's look at US. And in US, MySim is the cheapest provider, and then you have Dent coming as the fourth biggest provider here, and again it's beating all of them on the validity period. So my question is, can Dent sell their data plans at the same price as the other cheapest providers? Yes, they can, which is what is coming up in the next release of Dent's roadmap. So the next release of Dent roadmap is coming up with something called reselling of unused data. So basically, if I buy 10 gigabytes of data and if I feel I don't need 2 gigs of data, then I can sell it in the marketplace. So the Dent Exchange is a marketplace where anyone can buy data plans which are valid and will work in 80 different countries. So that is going to open a secondary market for eSIM data plans. That is when individuals are going to sell at their price they find reasonable to sell. So instead of losing all your data, it's going to open up a secondary market where anyone in the world can come in and buy a cheap data plan than what the other competitors are providing. So these competitors are just having only one business motive, which is to sell data as much as they could. That is the only motive. That's the only business strategy, and that's the core business model. There is no other product features into the product. So what I'm in comparison saying is there is only one business channel they have, and there is no other business product features they have. But whereas when you compare it with Dent, they have different types of product features. They have a Dent Exchange, and they have a developer portal targeted to B2B businesses, and then you have social project which is called Dent Teams, where it allows you to pool your mobile data with friends and family. That is another key feature as us. And then you have Dent Gigastore, which is a reseller platform where anyone can become a Dent reseller. So you can clearly see these features are not there. And then you have a rewards program, and then you have a voice calling feature as well. It's not just a data plan only option. You have international voice calling feature as well. And then you have something called Dent Yen, which is a reward system where they make money by advertisements, and users can complete a survey or watch a advertisement, and for watching the advertisement and participating in the survey, they will be given free Dent tokens. These kind of features are non-existent on any of these competitors. And you can see these competitors: GigSky, FlexiRoam, Redty, TruePhone, Ubigi, Webbing. All these competitors, they are doing only one thing, which is selling mobile data as cheap as possible, and that also at very low margin. Their profit margin is very less. So as a sustainable business, the profits channel is only one source. You can see the flaw in their business model straight away. So whereas Dent is pretty different, they have multiple sales revenue features, and they have different product features catered for different types of consumers and different types of market. So that is a key thing that I would look at. So that's how Dent is differentiating from its competitors. They don't depend on consumer market alone. They are spreading out to businesses and retail wholesalers as well. So this is pretty much like what Skype for Business is doing. Skype for Business got acquired by Microsoft in 2015 for $7 billion US. So that much how big is could Dent could come up in the future. They are targeting pretty much business users as well, not just consumers. It's pretty much like Skype, you know. Skype is free to download, and you can make calls, and you can send messages, and on top of that they have a product suite targeted specifically for the business customers, where you get a dedicated number, and then voice calling, international calling. It's pretty much Dent is doing that, but still undervalued. So if you look at the market cap of Dent, is roughly 45 million or so. So let's have a look. The market cap of fully diluted market cap is only 44 million. So imagine if the market cap has to surge to pretty much what Skype was in 2015. Let's put a low estimation of just 1 billion market cap. Yeah, that 1 billion market cap will put Dent at 1 cent per token. So that's a pretty huge return on investment from my perspective, because such a undervalued company, and the market space is quite huge. There is quite a lot of room for growth, and still the token price is below the ICO price. That's still a bonus here. That's a key thing that I would look. So on all these competitors, you can see very clearly, they have only one product, and which is mobile data, and they are trying to make noise by reducing their price, just so that they come up in the top in the cheap list in the provider. They don't have any other product offerings. Whereas the Dent mobile app, it has got quite a lot of features. You can buy data, you're going to be able to sell your unused mobile data, and there's already 25 million app users, and in the Play Store you can see the downloads have exceeded 5 million a year ago. So the number of downloads for the Dent mobile app is on Play Store is well above 5 million downloads. That was a year ago. Right now it's getting close to 10 million downloads. So there's quite a lot of already a well built up ecosystem around the Dent mobile. So the next 3 to 6 months, it's going to open up a lot of renewed interest in the community and among the app users as well. This will create quite a lot of network effect as well. So once you buy a data plan and you share it with another colleague or a friend or a family member, then you are easily bringing and absorbing new users into the ecosystem without Dent Wireless doing it themselves. So individual consumers of the app are going to be a huge marketing channel and this will create a big network effect as a whole, and this network effect is what is needed for a good support of the community, and we can see that emerging for the Dent mobile and the Dent ecosystem. And let's have a look at the other key points, and let's have a look at how their original roadmap is and whether it's looking promising in terms of I would strongly suggest how the how they are trying to liberate
to play games, watch videos, and connect with your friends. To be able to use your apps and download all the things you need on the road, you buy gigabytes from your mobile operator. But at the end of the month, you lose the data capacity that you didn't use. And even if you're allowed to roll the data over to the next month, you'll just lose it later. Operators make big bucks selling you data that they then take away at the end of the month. Think about it. The total mobile traffic, according to Cisco, is 7.2 billion gigabytes and worth over $32 billion per month. And if just 15% of it is reset by the operators as...
Total mobile traffic, according to Cisco, there's quite a lot of unused mobile data going into the pockets of the telecom companies. That is a key market.
Unused data, that's $4.8 billion per month that the users paid too much. Do you think that's fair? Imagine going to a gas station, then filling your tank, and at the end of the month, you'd have to go back to the tank station and give back the gas that you didn't use. The mobile data of the world needs to be liberated. Say hello to Dentcoin. We are building a blockchain-powered Dent marketplace, which will allow you to buy, sell, or donate bandwidth to other users. With Dent coins, you'll be able to turn your gigabytes into cash, or quickly buy extra mobile data at low prices. The most valuable asset that the billion-dollar mobile operators have is you, the user. It's our mission to liberate mobile data. That's why we are creating the Dent community, where millions of people just like you have collective power. That lets us negotiate with operators and make the market transparent and fair. It's time to take back what's yours, control over your data packages, and your...
So that's pretty clear idea. So that's a huge market for unused data. That's the key point here. So there is, you can clearly see here, roughly around 15 billion, 4.8 billion US dollar worth of data goes into the telecom companies every month. So that's for a year. If you look, multiply it by 3 times, that's 35 billion US dollars worth of mobile data goes unused and straight into the pockets of, they paid it. Consumers are charged for that 35 billions, and still they are not using it because they cannot reclaim it, and the option to reclaim is not given. So the money goes straight back to the telecom companies. So it's like selling a potato to you, and you're giving it back to me. I'm getting it back if you don't use it. Even though you paid the money for it, I'm getting the money back and the commodity back as well. So that's like it's a double-in loss for the consumer. Whereas for the business, it's two profits. I get money for not using the data, and at the same time, I'm retaining my data which I promised to sell you. So it's simply they don't use it, they are losing it. Yeah, that's a huge market worth of 35 billion US dollars. So that market is what Dent is targeting. So the unused mobile data, that is going to be this ecosystem will absorb slowly. So imagine even if 1% of that 35 billion US dollar market share, let's be conservatively put 10% of it. If it comes to Dent Wireless, 10% of it, that is worth of 3.5 billion worth of revenue for Dent Wireless, because those 3.5 billion will be transformed into money by selling it to other users. So that's so if you look at 3.5 billion, then the token value should be at 3.5 cents from where we are now, which is 100x from where we stand. So that much potential is there for the idea and the interesting bits they are trying to build. So that's the key thing that I want to highlight. So now you can see how they are in line with their original roadmap as well. So let's have a quick look at what the founder of Dent Wireless has to say. So let's see what's the problem that they are trying to solve.
There's a big problem in the mobile operator industry. If you look at the market today, in every country you have maybe 4 or 5 operators, and they are acting as silos and keeping the users as hostage. We want to liberate the data market by building a marketplace at the top of the operators where everybody can exchange their data packages. Also, telcos can participate in that. And in this marketplace, the user can freely sell his unused data packages to other users worldwide. Very useful for roaming, for example.
So that's another key thing I would like to say. And you can see, so let's have a look at another interesting what are the 3 key points Dent plans to disrupt?
Well, there are a few things that we are addressing which are really significantly wrong in the market. First, we want to liberate the data that people can exchange and buy and sell and donate their data packages to whoever they want. They own it. The second one is we want to get rid of roaming fees. We want the carriers to start using a local breakout, which means that if I'm from New York and I'm flying to Sydney, at the moment the Sydney operator will send your data requests back to New York, and then it will be released to the internet, and that of course costs because there's connectivity fees. But if the second carrier already releases your data or you yourself to the internet in Sydney, then there will be no roaming cost, at least 90% less. And the third one is that just like Uber disrupted the taxi industry, Airbnb, the hotel industry, there is a data sharing economy coming, and we want to drive that massively.
That's a key takeaway here. So they are targeting the mobile industry, and it's like pretty much like a Uber for mobile data, you can call it as. So that's like standing as a middleman, like pretty much like Amazon, right? Amazon is not selling any items themselves, even though they do, but most of them are coming from the retailers. So the platform allows you to do that. The platform allows you to do that, and that's where Dent Wireless is evolving. So we can clearly see what their plans are perfectly aligned in line with their roadmap and still looking quite promising. And the next 3 to 6 months span, there are lots of new things coming up. And the next thing that we have to look is what the future of it. The future looks quite promising, as I showed, like 35 billion worth of unused mobile data is going to be leveraged now by worldwide participants in the Dent ecosystem. So you buy data from Dent Wireless, and then you are pretty much free to sell it at any point of time within your 365 days. That's the reason they have kept a 365-day period of validity. So the participants can decide when and which point they want to sell the data. So there might be a user who wants to data to be used just for 1 day. Then he can filter in the app. You can say they can go on here, filter in the app in the next release. It's coming up here. They can filter and say, okay, I want the validity to be for just 1 day, and then you might get a cheaper price compared to what you see here. So right now this is 10-day plan is $260, and the guy who is desperate to sell it and get some money, you might sell it for $1. So that now creates a secondary market which could be far cheaper than what you see by the competitors. And your data plan is still valid for in 100 countries. It's not regional. So it's one plan, one operator, one company. That's the motive of Dent. One plan, one global operator. So you buy once and then you keep it to use it, and if you don't want to use it, you can sell it in a retail market, secondary market within the Dent ecosystem. All you could do at the tip of your finger. The mobile app is going to do all out of it. That's another key thing. You don't have to go to a browser. You don't need a computer to do that. This you could be able to do at the tip of your fingers. That's a very key takeaway here. The app is actually quite user friendly, and I already got 5 million downloads on App Store and Play Store. So that's a key takeaway here that I want to highlight. And you can see from the screenshots, it's creating a market space, and there is an option to share your mobile data from the app itself. That's another option as well, which will create a network effect among the Dent ecosystem. So yep, the market space compared to what they are doing, it looks quite promising. That's a key thing I would say. And the next release, there are 2 new items coming up as well. As I said, Dent developer portal, and then Dent Teams beta, and then you have Dent Giga Store coming as well. So lots of upcoming news is coming, and still considering it's lower than the ICO price, it looks promising for Dent in the coming next 3 to 6 months time. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.